Hello, and welcome to another Star Citizen Addicts Anonymous. I'm Nikki Batgirl D'Angelo, your host. It's been quite a while since I stood in this room with the green walls and the microphone and the lights. Quite a while. And mostly the time has passed between the last episode and this because I do a lot of things for work and school at this point, but also because my son has taken this room over. He's added the couch, and the tables, and the lamps, and a desk, and what you can't see, an Xbox One and a monitor over there. He's turned this room into his personal man cave. But this isn't about my son and his games. This is about us. This is about Cloud Imperium Games, Chris Roberts, and Star Citizen. And, of course, Squadron 42. This is the week that CitizenCon will be happening over at the Avalon in LA, or is it Hollywood? Anyway, it's California, and I will be going and bringing you as much content as I can from there. I'll be doing live updates, I'll be doing recaps, and I'll be capturing a lot of interview footage, I hope. I've been promised by Sandi, of the event. Now, I mentioned Sandi, and we're going to get to her in a few minutes. But when I do get to her interview and you see the artistic flair that I've taken in doing her interview, understand that we had a major audio issue. She thought it was on her side. I didn't hear it on my side. And after running down all the troubleshooting I found out the audio issue was actually inside of my recording software called Recorder, which is tied into Skype. It's been corrected, and it had something to do with me upgrading the operating system right before I did her interview. Anyway, her side captured perfectly, but she had to listen to this.
That's become a thing.
Oh, God, that is horrible. And she listened to it for about 40 minutes. Sandi, thank you so much for taking your time and giving it your all. If anyone makes fun of her facial expressions when she was answering the questions, remember, this is what she heard, and if you make fun of it, I'll tie you down and make you listen to that. Well, I won't, for real. But just think about how bad that would be if you had to listen to that for 38 minutes. So we have CitizenCon this week, and CitizenCon usually means a lot of information on one of the two games that are being released, and that's going to be Squadron 42. Will we get a release date? I don't know if they're going to be willing to commit to a release date at this point. A release date means that they're mostly done with everything, and right now, I think we would be optimistic at best to believe that it's going to come out before the end of the year. I hope I'm wrong about this, but my prediction is February, March. That by Easter, we're going to have this. I'm hoping for Ash Wednesday. You can tell I'm Catholic, right? Anyway, I don't think they're going to make that Christmas schedule, but there's always hopes that, there's always hope that those of us that are early backers may be able to get some kind of early release. I don't want an early release. Let's just say it's probably going to be coming a little bit later than we thought. We've had 2.5 come out, and now 2.6 of Star Citizen's PU will be coming out soon. And by the end of the year, I do believe they are going to drop us 3.0. Why am I so confident when 2.6 is going to be bringing in so many elements that could be broken? Well, because the code has been split now. There's 3.0 code, there's 2.6 code. And I believe that those are getting their performance enhanced on their own. 2.6 is going to introduce a lot of elements into the game for us. We're going to have a new item use system, which means we're going to be able to pick things up and sit down in chairs and actually start to be the characters that we want to be. Although the same clone male character that, well, you understand. We're also going to have the same lag that we've had in the game, but we're going to have two brand new ships, the Herald and the Hoplite. And the Hoplite is causing quite a bit of controversy. And the Hoplite is causing the controversy because it's a Vanguard. And the Vanguard introduced elements into the game called Battlefield Upgrade Kits, BUKs. We also see them in the Retaliator and a couple of other ships. But the Hoplite is a separate, entirely different space frame. I've gotten Ben to say that on my show, and I'm wondering if they're going to continue to do that. For me, it doesn't make that much of it doesn't bother me so much. I could understand why it is different. You probably need different elements inside of your ship to be able to handle the hull that's going to hold in 6 or 8 Marines. And maybe that's why. Maybe the changes in that system are because they wouldn't be battlefield upgrades that just slide into that area. Maybe it has something to do with different elements of the ship. We're going to have to wait and see when the ship comes out. The big thing that's going to happen this week, though, is CitizenCon. Now, I will be there, and I am one of the volunteers, but I'm going to invite each and every one of you to come and see me. Follow me on my Periscope, follow me on my Twitter, follow me on my Facebook, and on my Instagram. All of those are going to be down below, and I'll be tweeting, Instagramming, Facebooking, and, well, you get the gist, and Periscoping throughout the conference whenever I'm allowed to. I'm also going to have my camera, the one I'm shooting with right now, and I'm going to shoot a recap video with a wonderful streamer, an amazing streamer named Sophie Girl, and maybe some other people too. And that's going to be going on daily. So the big news for this week is a brand new ship, and that's going to be it's going to be the replacement for the Corvette that is now a frigate, and that, of course, was the Idris. So what are we going to get in its place? Well, that's called the Polaris, and it's going to come in at $750. I don't see a problem with the price. I think that's where a Corvette would be, considering I spent $450 on a Phoenix, which is just a luxury yacht. $750 for a Corvette sounds about right. Back from that technical difficulty, and I'm going to pick up right where I left off. Now, don't freak out if the ship isn't as big as you expect it to be. I think this ship is going to be a little bit smaller than the Carrack, bigger than the Aquila, or let's say Constellation, and I think it's going to serve a very unique purpose. That purpose, not sure about, but I think it's going to be based upon its gear, like its loadout. The weapons, the systems, in other words, scanners, radar, shields, countermeasures. So I'm thinking that this ship is going to be unique in its design, so a little bit different than what you expect. Not as big as some people want it to be, but it's going to be kick-ass. Also, the $750 price, although I agree with it, there may be a few wrinkles. Well, we're going to wait and see, but I kind of predict that there's going to be another, well, let's just say something else is going to be going on with that sale. I was hoping that we would see some other ships during the CitizenCon. Banu Merchantman, the Prowler. Come on, there's so many ships that we're waiting for. But we may get a glimpse of some more Star Citizen Squadron 42 footage that gives us a look into ships that we've been waiting to see. Possibly the Hurricane, possibly the Lightning. I'm not sure. But these are things that can happen. All right, let's take off to my video at this point. My video interview with Sandi Gardiner. Again, I primed you in the beginning saying that Sandi was amazing with sitting through a video where essentially her audio on her side, which you heard me saying, had that in it. So we're going to do this a little bit differently. We're going to talk like this is a documentary interview. Okay, so I am friends with Sandi. We talk every now and then. I text her every now and then, and we share, we share a lot of the same interests in life. So when I talk to her, we get kind of personal for a little bit, and then we go right into the interview. This time, I didn't have the time, so I jumped right in. So I'm going to look at this, my phone, and I'm going to go over the first couple of questions with you because this is important. The first question that I asked her came from one of our backers that sent me asked the questions inside of these questions all came from the thread I put up in general chat. So this first one was essentially which one of the CitizenCons has been harder, or the events has been harder to set up. And here's what she had to say about that.
I mean, I think Germany was probably, it's always like 11 out of 10. It doesn't matter how prepped you think you are. It's just, there's so many moving parts and people and everything, and you're traveling, right? So it just makes it so much harder. I mean, it was nice to have the Frankfurt office close by. So things like builds and, getting speed, internet speed, up bandwidth, that makes life easier. So certainly being home is probably about a 3 out of 10 because everything's right here.
So Sandi does get she is very eloquent once you catch on to what she's saying. She was rating an 11 for Cologne for Gamescom. And what she meant by that was that it wasn't easy, but that was the hardest one to set up. It's the furthest away from offices, and also it's in a country where things tend to be a little bit more expensive. Still, I think they pulled that one off pretty good. Over the past few years, the Cologne events over at, I guess I have to say Cologne events over at Gamescom have been some of the best ones that they've held. So pretty awesome about that. She then actually responded to another person's question, which had to do with the shift in where the actual percent, where the major percentage of people are. How has that changed? And she decided to take it into a different direction, which was not that the shift of people from being more even across the U.S., Germany, and other parts of the world, but actually we're telling us about how it's shifted to most people just having an Aurora. And here's what she had to say.
I mean, the States is still our number one audience by quite a margin, but then the second one is Germany still. I think the biggest shift is in the actual ships. Well, in as much that, like, lots of people just have, like, a basic package and stuff. So you've got a big proportion of people with an Aurora or whatever.
And of course, the follow-up question to that was, how far ahead did she have to start planning?
More than a year. I mean, this one, I booked it probably this time last year. So we'll announce the next citizencon venue, well, not venue, but location, next week.
Now, every time I talk to Sandi, everybody wants to know about the Saitek deal and about when the HOTUS is coming. Well, something big happened, and pretty much Logitech is taking over Saitek. So here's what Sandi had to say about the HOTUS. And folks, don't be upset. This had nothing to do with CIG. It had everything to do with Logitech and Saitek. That's
still we don't have a solid word on where that leaves us. So as soon as that's all finalized and we know, then we'll let all our fans know. But right now, it just happened, and we don't have full detail of what's happening. So
now my follow-up questions, of course, had to do with, were they actually bound? Was Logitech bound to the contracts that Saitek had signed?
Yeah, well, that's something for our legal team to be sorting out, yeah.
And of course, she had some other statements to make, and specifically, I'm thinking now that some of my friends and even I are starting to play with dual joysticks. I'm not doing so good at it, but other people are. I was wondering if that would be in our future, but I wasn't able to get a solid answer out of Sandi because it's actually not up to her until after the Logitech Saitek issue is solved. So there are many more people that want to know about cosplay kits. Cosplay kits are important to all of us that want to go to these events and dress like some of the characters that are in the game. Of course, there are no characters in the game yet, but she had this to say about that.
I mean, I definitely think that we should do them, and I know we have discussed it around and around. I guess it's what would those kits be? And, maybe we get the fans to kind of vote on it or get them together to say this is what we want. And if we get enough numbers, then we can get things going.
And then more merchandising questions. And this one really has to do with Alexis, but we'll listen to what Sandi had to say about them. And it was about the dog tags.
Yeah, I know that's it. The personalized stuff has been quite the shipping nightmare. So that's in Alexis's court. I'm not sure. I know that Turbulent have been really, really busy with citizencon. So I know they're ready to ship.
And with all the things that she was talking about, a long time ago we were talking about this new warehouse that they were setting up. It's probably about 1 or 2 Ask Sandys ago, and I asked her, has it helped at all?
But there's certain places, like there's certain countries of Europe that are really, really expensive. Like it costs double to ship a star map than what it does to London or LA or whatever. Like I think Greece is on that list, and Russia, and there's some, and a bunch of outlying places. So we need to really sort it out. But Alexis would be the person to ask if dog tags have actually started shipping. I know they're ready. So fingers crossed it's super soon that they all go out.
It seems with people ordering from all over the world, which is awesome, and I want you to understand that she is thrilled and in your debt, has as much gratitude as she can with all of you that order in the different parts of the world. But right now, it has to do with the fact that there are so many different shipping and import and export and, laws and regulations that it's starting to affect how long it takes some of you to get the things that you order. Of course, we asked if there was an update on the referral program.
Yeah, I got to ask actually what the latest numbers are. I don't know how people are looking. I know it was I think maybe it was last November's live stream that we did an update on what numbers the referrals were. But I actually haven't kept up more recently with how people are doing. So is 1,042 referrals like totally off the charts and no one's there? Or is it a dozen people that are there?
I haven't used that at all. I don't know what I'm waiting for, but maybe it's that I just realized that most of the people that are watching me have already bought into the game. Maybe I should put something about the referral program in my videos, but I'm not sure. I don't know how many of y'all have actually bought into the game yet. Why don't you leave me a message down below if you haven't bought into the game yet and you're just watching the videos because you want to watch them. I would say 90-95% of you have already bought into the game. That's what my prediction is. And of course, then we got into questions about the revenue stream. Now, we asked this question on every show. I'm going to give you little blips and blurbs about what she said now about the revenue stream. She's very eloquent. She has a lot to say about this. So here's the best parts of what she said.
Yes, we have a plan, but it's like we need to kind of see how it goes, obviously, when Squadron 42 is out and what kind of numbers that does and how well that's received, because that definitely makes a big difference to a lot of things. Certainly for shooting episodes 2 and 3 and all of that. I mean, it's a different kind of, Squadron 42 is a different beast in terms of being a single player. It has a completely different marketing campaign. The goal would be that it creates a decent amount of awareness and it moves more into a mainstream audience. Because right now, Star Citizen is pretty much a niche. I mean, even with 1.5 million fans, it's not a big deal in the whole scheme of things.
Now, Sandi and I gabbed for a little bit afterwards, and we talked about her career, and she is still pursuing it. She has a role as a secret agent that she was just shooting, but she's promised me, this is the long and the short of it, to get some FaceTime with Chris, and I'm hoping I will. So if you have questions for Chris, I could probably get 1 or 2 in, because he takes between 10 and 12 minutes to answer a question, I should say. And if there is one question that you want, start putting them into the comments section, and I'll pull the best one out of there. All right, so this was the way that I decided to take Sandi's wonderful video and put it into my show. I am so sorry I lost that, folks, but I have been burning the candle on both ends lately. Between my surgery in April, the resurgery in January, the almost dying over the summer, and then school starting up in August, I have been busy, and I do apologize. I'm not saying I'm too busy for you, because I do this for you and for me. I love doing Star Citizen Addicts Anonymous. And because of that, I've made my Patreon a little bit easier to navigate and a little bit easier for those of you that do want to help the show get better. So I can do things like these, I can do these events like CitizenCon, Gamescom, the PAXs that they go to, and DragonCon. And I took a big leap of faith that you guys would jump on board and help me out. I went from the per show model, which was making me about $300 to $400 a month, and I changed it to per month, which dropped me down to $85. There was another technical issue there when I was talking about Patreon. The bottom line is I've moved my Patreon account from being a per show to a per month. Pretty much gave up about $300 a month and turned it into about $85. But I'm leaving it in your hands to abridge your pledges to make up for the fact that I've moved it to a better model for new people that want to support the show. If you do want to support the show and see more of these videos and help me get to Gamescom next year, which is something I want to do, please think about supporting the show at Patreon. That's patreon.com/Batgirl. Folks, that's it. Next video that you get from me will probably be a Periscope, and then a recap of day one with myself and Sophie Girl and maybe Eden Star. And then I should be doing that about once a day. So expect those Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then of course, I'll do a Ben's Day the following week, probably Tuesday or Wednesday. And everything should be hunky-dory. So all these great things, I expect to see lots of information on Squadron 42, a little bit of information on Star Citizen with them showing off. Hopefully that item use system and a couple of other cool things that we're going to be getting there. We're going to have the Polaris sale, which again, I think is going to be amazing. Not as big as everyone expects, but bigger than I really expected. And you're going to get lots and lots of Batgirl. That's all I can tell you. So folks, with that said, thank you so much for watching me, for supporting me for so long. I'm psyched. I am very psyched, and I can't wait to get to LA. And with that said, you all be safe out there, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.